Alright guys, so we have been solving equations, so now we're going to learn how to write equations based off words. So in other words, we're going to be able to read problems and write an equation and then solve it. So there's 4 steps that I typically tell kids to follow just to make sure they're staying on track. So they seem pretty simple and straightforward, but just to review them. So your first thing you should always do is read it. And when I say read it, I don't just mean be like, do. You actually want to read it and understand what it is asking. So if it's asking like how many family members or how many miles or how many toppings, you actually want to understand what it's asking. All right, so once you've read it and actually understand what it's asking or what is the unknown, you're then going to want to write an equation. So you're basically going to want to take the written and write an algebraic equation. Now when we say algebraic, you know that that means there has to be a variable. So you want to be using X or Y or whatever variable you choose, but you want to make sure that if you're writing an equation, it has a variable. The third step is going to be to actually solve what the question's asking for. So you're going to actually solve the equation you just wrote with your balance bar and all that fun stuff. So you're going to write the equation, then you're going to solve the equation. Then you're going to check it. Does it make sense? Like if it's asking for pizza toppings and you get a negative answer, that doesn't make sense. You can't have negative pizza toppings. If it's asking how many miles you ran and you get a negative answer, that doesn't make sense. If it asks how deep in the ocean you are, you should get a negative answer because you're going down, you're going in depth. So, first step is always to read. Second step is to write an equation. Third step is to solve. And fourth step is to check. Does that make any bit of sense? All right, so we're going to do 2 together. All right, so first example, a moving truck, I don't know why it says can, but a moving truck rents for $29.95 a day plus 12 cents per mile. Miss Smith's bill for her 2-day rental was $70.46. How many miles did she drive? Okay, so I've read it, but I want to know what is it asking. So it's not asking me how many days I rented it for. It's not asking me her total bill. It's asking me how many miles did she drive. So I'm going to use M. When I read it, I always figure out what the variable is going to be. So M is going to be the miles, because I don't know how many miles I went with the car, or Miss Smith did. So that was read. Next step, write an equation. All right, so a moving van, I go through and highlight the numbers. Rents for $29.95 a day, plus, oh, I love that because then I know it's addition, 12 cents per mile. And her bill for a 2-day rental was $70.46. And when you get a bill, it's typically for the total. So typically when you see the word bill, you know it's going to be the total or equal to. So I've highlighted a lot of numbers. I've highlighted a lot of words that help me. So let's go ahead and write this equation. So I know it's going to be equal to $70.46 because that was her bill, which is typically the total for $70.46. And I know there's going to be addition because it says plus, and I know it's 12 cents per mile. But I don't know how many miles, so that's where my M is going to go. They're going to charge me 12 cents for every mile. That's why I'm multiplying 12 cents times my number of miles. And then they're charging me $29.95 a day. So on top of my 12 cents, I have to pay the $29.95 a day. But be careful, she rented it for 2 days. So I actually have to do this times 2. Don't let them trick you there, which typically we would all fall for that because we wouldn't read very carefully. All right, so I've written the equation, and I have algebraic because there's a variable, and now I'm going to solve it. So I draw my balance bar. I'm going to do the 2 times $29.95 and get $59.90 plus 12M equals my total of $70.46. All right, so now you guys know how to solve this, and I'll solve this one with you. So subtract the $59.90, subtract the $59.90. This turns into a 0 pair. 12 cents M equals $10.56. And divide by my 12 cents a mile. Divide by my 12 cents a mile. So I went 88 miles. So that was my third step to solve. And the last thing says, check. Does it make sense? Does it make sense that I went 88 miles? Yeah, sounds about right. And if it's a moving truck, I probably moved a good distance, so 88 miles. All right, let's try one more together on the back. All right, this one's a little bit more realistic for you all because I'm sure y'all eat pizza. So, a pizza place charges $4.25 for a cheese pizza and 30 cents per topping. The total bill was $6.50. How many toppings were on the pizza? So, I've read it, but now I want to identify. So, it's not asking me how much the pizza was because I know that it was $6.05. It's not asking me how much a topping is. So, it's really asking me how many toppings. So, I'm going to use X because I don't like to use T because I get it confused with a plus or an addition symbol. All right, so I've read and identified that I'm trying to figure out the number of toppings. Now I'm going to write an equation. So they charged me $4.25 for just the base pizza, basically just cheese, and 30 cents per topping. So on top of the $4.25, I have to pay an additional 30 cents per topping. And typically means addition, not always, but, and then the total bill was $6.05. And if I'm getting a bill and it says total, I know that's my equal sign. All right, so equals $6.05. I have to pay $4.25 up front, and then 30 cents per topping. But I already know I don't know the topping, so I'm going to use an X because I don't know the topping. So now I've written the equation, $4.25 for the base pizza plus 30 cents for however many toppings I want to get. It gave me a total of $6.05. All right. So now I just have to solve it. Subtract the $4.25. Subtract the $4.25. So these make a zero pair. 30 cents X equals $1.80. So I paid $1.80 in toppings basically. And if each topping is 30 cents, those cancel. X equals 6 toppings. Now, is that realistic? Let's see. So it's asking, so I solved it. Now I need to check it. So it's asked how many toppings are on my pizza? Yeah, six toppings, pretty realistic. It's a lot of toppings, but it could happen. So I did my last step of check. All right. This one we're going to do in class tomorrow, but if you'd like to try it and have an equation written, totally would love to see that happen. If not, we will do this one tomorrow in class together. So if you want to attempt it and write the equation and solve it, go for it. If not, we will do this one in class tomorrow. Remember, watch this video as many times as you need. All right.